Welcome to the Dudeology Show, where real dudes discuss cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. We're your hosts, the professors of Dudeology. Make sure to check us out, dudeologyshow.com, at Dudeology Show on your socials, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Dudeology Studios with your professors of Dudeology B, all about the Benjamin's baby money and Mr. Cooler Than the Other Side of the Pillow, Gambino. Before we get any further, take a moment and click on subscribe and then share us on your socials. And once you do that, you have done your part in advancing the movement. That is the effort to encourage and inspire dudes to be better and do great things, ultimately making the world a better place. This is an episode we've been super stoked about, and we're going to use this episode to celebrate a milestone here at the Dudeology Show. Last week, we released episode number 10 and are now officially in double digits of episodes produced. Thank you to the tens and maybe hundreds of folks that have listened and downloaded the show. In order to keep us moving forward and keep the mojo rising, we would ask that you do share us on your socials and make sure to click on subscribe.
Yeah. What we're most thankful for are you guys, our guests. Welcome to the show, Pat.
Hey, great to be here.
And our listeners. We love the fact that our guests are telling cool stories, bringing in some awesome stuff, and some killer gear. So for this show, you Dudeologists are going to have a little fun. We're going to challenge each other to some trivia about our first 10 episodes and guests.
And like Chris said, here in the studio, we have an avid listener, future guest, and vice president-elect of the Dudeology Show fan club, Pat Eliason. Welcome, Pat.
Yeah, I ran unopposed. It was good, though. I did win vice president of the Dudeology fan club, which is great.
How many people did you run against?
Zero.
Okay,
Zero.
Cool.
Was good.
So that's awesome. Well, now you can't lose it, though. You have to keep that position. That's a real.
It's like a Supreme Court justice. I'll keep it like Ginsburg.
Absolutely.
We're also the zero-time award-winning Dudeology Show.
Nice.
So that's going to change.
It will.
By the way.
It will.
That's going to change. Now, Pat, you've had authority in the past to marry people, to court-martial people, to do burials at sea. So we think that playing kind of our version of Alex Trebek here would be something that you are eminently qualified to do.
I think I'm up for the challenge. I think I'm ready to go. I got some good questions here. See if you two know what you've been doing for the last 10 episodes, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, that's probably a soft, medium to low chance that we are going to be able to answer any of these, but we'll give it our best shot.
We'll see. There's a shame walk for the loser,
Definitely.
and we're not sure if the winner gets anything, so we'll be ready to go.
All right.
In the words of Legal Bill, I think it all depends. It all depends. We'll see.
Depends.
So here's how it's going to work. Brandon and I wrote 10 questions down for one another. We've not seen these questions, okay? So we have no idea what they are. Pat, over here, will ask each of us a question, alternating turns, and whoever gets the most correct at the end of the show wins. You got a pen, right, Pat, so you can tally this up?
Ready to go.
Awesome. So let's get into it.
All right, first question for both of you, and not really part of the trivia, but just wondering, why'd you start the show?
That's a great question. Well, it's one of those things where I wanted to start a podcast. I didn't know what I wanted to do it on. Brandon, I think, wanted to start a podcast. We were at this workout one day, and he walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, so do I. I've been thinking about it for a while. I have no idea what I want to do it on, but let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I think my memory's a little bit different than that, but I think it's kind of along the same lines. We Chris and I, probably like a lot of dudes, we listen to a lot of podcasts, either in the car or working out or around the house, listening to like Rogan and Jocko and just whatever we can find that really kind of just inspires you, gets you out of listening to the same 20 songs they play over and over on the radio. And so we would be we'd be either working out or just chatting about this episode we heard here, and then finally we were like, I think one of us were like, man, that would be cool to start that, and then the other one was like, yeah, that's cool, we should do that. And then really when I think of like the core of what we're trying to do here, Pat, is I love to hear about people's stories. I think every person, every dude in the world out there has like a cool story to tell, and if any of those stories can inspire someone else that's maybe on the verge of doing something. I think back to our for instance, like our American Summer episode, where Brian was on, and he was just tired of the corporate bullshit, and he was like, I'm gonna move to an island. There's some dude out there right now that is fed up with it, that's like, man, I should just move to an island. And maybe he hears that and says, wow, a regular dude can just do that. You just gotta kind of take that plunge. I just think if we can inspire dudes to do that, or to tough it out through something like Ranger School, or give them some, get their finances in order, legals, anything we can help. Again, really kind of do this whole movement thing. I mean, that's why I get up and do this every day. I think it's just cool to see.
Awesome. All right, you guys ready to start with the actual questions?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll start off.
Oh, by the way, you're going down, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, so the first, kind of a softball, the first question. We'll go to Brandon first. What was your favorite episode and why?
All right, that's kind of like not a fair question though, because if I say, I right now I only have it. I'm going to.
You're going to lose points if you don't say this episode.
Obviously this one. I'm going to disappoint 90% of our guests right now if I say so. But oh well. Favorite episode. It was really cool. And I don't know if it's my favorite, but I felt that it was something that I learned. One of the individuals we had on back on episode 4 on 4 Minute Mindset was John Richardson, who broke the 4-minute barrier when he was a track star at University of Kentucky. And that for me was a cool episode because we didn't really know John that well at all. So really, it was truly like learning. Right. Kind of a lot about him and about stories. So I would say from an instance of what I kind of took from that was awesome to hear the story. But I had a couple episodes with my buddy Nate Aganaga too, and just kind of reconnecting with him was super cool because we've known each other for like 25 years and have maybe spoken a total of 10 times in the last 25 years. So that was neat too. Again, you can give me 0 points.
I think he gets half points, but what you should have said. The right answer would be episode 6 with John Richardson, 4 Minute Mile.
Oh, is it episode? Okay,
sorry.
4. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So
production stuff, man. So you should probably just give me 0 points.
I give you 0 points.
I'll take 0 points.
But a great answer.
Although it sounds like you're ready to run for office when you named all of them. But no, I thought the episode with John was really interesting. One of the things about that milestone, it's a second different than what he did previously, but what it took to get mentally, I thought it was really interesting to kind of listen to the mindset that went in. And I know one other guy who ran sub 4 mile, similar story. Like had been there, had been at the 401, 401, 401, and it took that little mindset change. So that was pretty interesting.
So maybe that could be your story is that you know 2 people that have broken the form. Because only like 1,500 of them in the world.
There you go.
Like
I know 2 of them.
That's your claim to fame is you know 2
All right, so 0 points for you. Okay. All right, Chris, next question for you. How many years did Nate Aganaga spend in the 82nd Airborne Division?
Ooh, in the 82nd. Because he spent, I think, his first 4 years as like a desk jockey. Or something. So I'm going to say 16 years.
I don't think we can get...
Wrong. No, it's not close. 10.
10. Yep. Okay.
He mentioned it in both episodes.
Okay, he did. Okay. He did. I remember 10. I was going to say 10. But I figured, No,
and I'll tell you, that's impressive. Having served a little bit with the Army in one of my joint tours, 82nd Airborne is as elite as it gets. So for that guy to serve that long in there, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. All right, Brandon, back over to you.
Bring it on.
0-0.
On which episode did you call Chris the Teddy Pendergrass of podcasts?
So that was Legal Bill. That was the Legal Bill episode. I don't know what the episode number was. That number 7 Legal Bill episode number. I'm not sure, but that
episode 4.
Episode 4.
I was flattered, by the way.
And I don't know.
Teddy Pendergrass worth $12 million too. So one day, he's no longer with us.
Yeah, Teddy Pendergrass is no longer with us, and I'm not really even sure how that came up. I was just thinking that we needed to spice up our intros a little bit, and I don't know. I'm sure Teddy Pendergrass has some great songs. I can't name one of them. He's a kind of R&B blues kind of guy, but
I think he's a late night after a couple drinks.
Exactly. Maybe some baby making music.
Maybe, that's what it is. Okay. All right, so we'll give you 1 point there. Chris, over to you. What 3 pieces of killer gear were discussed on episode 1?
Oh, the ice mule, the green egg, and the Leatherman.
Nice.
Boom.
Well done.
I had to pull from the vault.
Episode 1 probably needs to stay in the vault.
Yeah, it does.
Forever, never to be released, ever.
For all of our listeners out there on the podcasting platforms, you'll notice we started with episode 2.
Can they still get to episode 1?
They can get to episode 1 on YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, go check it out. You'll laugh. You have a few good laughs.
It's terrible.
All right, Brandon, name 3 adult beverages that you've had on the show.
Okay. 3 adult beverages we've had on the show. We've had Miller Lite.
Correct.
We've had John Boat Ale.
Correct.
From Dr. Danny. And we had Lagunitas IPA with Dollar Bill.
Correct. Bonus. Can you name 2 more?
Yes, we've had Do I have to say it the right way?
You have to spell it, actually, to get the bonus.
And then I'm going to stay with my regular point. Do I lose if I try?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Leinenkugel.
Okay, that too. Yeah,
and Blanton's bourbon.
Yes, those are the two. I know those. But you may see those questions later, so I didn't want to bring them up.
Okay.
So now I'm not.
I know I'm going to get the points,
but you probably should just. I mean, if there's one thing I'm going to know about on the show, it's definitely going to be the beer. I'll
tell you, the Leinenkugels actually had one last night. It's one of those you don't necessarily drink them in front of your buddies, but they're really good.
Definitely not on a show with 3 of your buddies.
Right? They're called summer shandies.
Summer shandies.
It does taste like summer.
Why do they call it a shandy though? That's kind of an odd name.
All right, Chris, back over to you. College sports hot in the media right now. What's going to go on? What is the Alderson's Broadus University mascot?
And I'm going to say this in my West Virginia accent, as Jeff Hartman did, but it's the Battlers.
Battlers, nice.
Battlers. So
Battlers.
I believe it's meant to be pronounced Battlers, but they just leave out a few consonants in West Virginia.
And I thought he was saying like rattlers, like rattlesnakes. And in that show, if you go back, was that 5? Episode 5, I think, the money matters. We're sitting there and we're like, what?
Yeah.
What? We're like taking the trying to listen to him. He's like, battlers, like battler. He's like, like a battler, like a guy with an old hat and a musket. And I was like, oh, battlers. Like someone who does battle. He's like, yeah, battlers.
This is this is our finance guy, right?
That's what we have. Yeah, that's what we have from hiring a finance guy from Virginia.
Well, that's why you talk about guys' stories. One of the things I find interesting is that we all kind of did something to get where we are that day, but there's certain things in our past that you're going to pronounce or you're going to kind of act like you're still there. For me, it's the word water. I still say water like I'm in Philadelphia. Yeah. For Jeff Hartman, it's battler, which is good.
Yeah, you can't change that.
Awesome. All right, Brandon, back over to you. So what are the 3 phases of Ranger School as described by your buddy, Master Sergeant Aganaga?
We just come Augie. Sure, there's Benning phase or Georgia phase, and there's also Mountain phase, which is in North Georgia, Dahlonega, Georgia, and there's Florida phase, which is in Panhandle.
Did you go to Ranger School or no?
No.
Okay, so I've heard guys describe each phase as the worst phase, which is interesting.
yeah, and Nate actually in that episode, it's I think it probably depends. Like to your point, depends on what instructors you have.
Sure, depends on what time of year too.
Depends on what time of year, and for him, it sounded like the biggest challenge was that mountain phase. Just and you listen to the episode, there was just kind of a lot of things going on, and surprisingly, actually, that he made it through without getting recycled in that phase, and he'll tell you the same thing. But they used to have, when I first was in the Army, they used to have a desert phase out in White Sands, New Mexico, somewhere crazy like that, and then they were like, Rangers in the desert aren't really like a viable. I mean, desert's mostly done in like armor type thing. So they got rid of that. And then they just lengthened all the other phases.
Interesting. All right, Chris, back over to you. The prison legal bell referenced during his feces story was the same prison depicted in which movie? I enjoyed the feces story, by the way.
Did you?
Man, that's a tough one. You went way in the vault on this one.
So, if to refresh everyone's memory, that's where legal bill had to represent a client who was. It was some kind of prison brutality with guards, but the client had thrown his feces at the window where the prison guards were to start this incident. So that prison in Illinois was also used in what major, award-winning movie?
I'm going to go with the wrong answer. I'm going to say The Irishman. That's probably wrong.
No, but that's a good movie.
Jimmy Hoffa.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Nothing to do with.
I just felt like Chicago. All that.
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. Harrison Ford. I didn't kill my wife, is what he says before Tommy Lee Jones is chasing him down.
The Fugitive.
The Fugitive.
There we go.
Yeah, The Fugitive.
Kind of a classic.
We can't give any points.
No, 0 points.
And I do all the post-editing. I listen to all these episodes.
That's
I should know all the details, nitty-gritty, but couldn't pull that from the vault.
All right, there's no answer written here, so I'm going to have to judge whether he gets this right. You're going to get the call.
Is this like an essay? Like that's like a free form?
This is an open-ended question.
Awesome.
What does it mean to get funky on the mic like an old patch of collard greens?
Yeah, okay, so that's a reference. That was in, I believe, episode 10, Rangers Lead the Way with Nate. And that was kind of one of our intros, similar to the Teddy Pendergrass podcast.
Okay.
And that's a reference to Snoop Dogg song, right? Get funky on the mic like an old patch of collard greens. It's the SNOOP.
Yes.
Right? And what it means is that I guess an old batch of collard greens would probably smell pretty funky. So if you're wanting to get funky, if you leave them out. For me, I just thought it was a cool reference because people would be like, what the hell is that guy talking about? I'm trying to make him laugh. So in all the intros, really my goal is to try to make the guest laugh and try to be like super like serious about it.
Right.
And if you guys can hold like the laughter in, then that's kind of the goal of it. It's not really, so the meaning is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant meaning.
It's my favorite part of the show, I will say. It makes me laugh.
I want to do a thing where somehow I blind. I think on a couple of them I didn't give him the intro on the show notes and I just said it to see if he would get like a good laugh out of it.
Me and 10 of our listeners laughed. It's hilarious.
All 10 at that point.
Are we going to give him credit?
We'll give him credit.
We'll give him credit for that.
He referenced the Snoop Dogg song.
Nice. All right, Chris, back over to you. What was the brand of bourbon that John Richardson shared with the show Foreign in Mindset?
Blanton's Bourbon.
It's one I have not tried. Was it good?
It was really good.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, out of all the things that we've tried on the show, that's by far the highest quality and the best, and probably the most dangerous too.
Nice.
And I will say, it's probably been one of our very few awesome stuff segments.
Yeah, because most of that, that's right, because most of it's like killer gear.
Right.
And he was just like, here's awesome stuff. And John made a great point in that show. Someone gave him that bottle of bourbon when he was leaving Kentucky, so when he was moving. And he said the guy told him that you should never give a gift to somebody that you wouldn't want to receive yourself.
I did remember hearing that. I remember thinking like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool saying.
Yeah, because most time we give gifts to people like, yeah. But sometimes you see something really cool and you're like, oh, man, I have to keep this for myself.
I need about 2 of these.
Yeah, 2 of these, yeah.
All right, Brandon, back over to you. Who said the best performance-enhancing drug you can ever take is a positive mental attitude?
John Richardson, 4-Minute Mindset.
Well, he did say it, but who originally said it?
So who is he referencing? The best? Was that one of his coaches at Kentucky? And I don't know the name, so I don't know his name. Okay.
We'll give you credit.
We'll give you credit. So John Richardson's track coach. And again, what I took most from that episode was that's so true. I mean, you get to kind of pick how you approach different things, and he approaced that and said, I'm going to get after it, and he did, which is awesome.
And one of the things, I think he said that the coach said to him, like, if you could have a 40-year-old mind, basically if you knew what you knew now, but you had the physical ability of a 21 or 22-year-old, and how much like ass would you kick in life in general if that was true, like right now?
Well, you look at that coaching kids, doing anything, you're like, man, if I could just kind of program what I have in my experiences into what you're doing right now, 100%. Yeah. All right, back over to you, Chris. How many balls do you keep in your sack from episode 2?
Jeez, well,
sorry.
The original ball sack had 3, but today, and for the past couple of years, I've always kept 2 in my ball sack.
Okay, we're going to go with 3.
Although bulky, I consider them carry-ons.
So 3, and can you just refresh the guests on what we're discussing here?
Yeah, no, I can't. Sorry. No. Yeah, so we did a Father's Day episode, and we were reviewing some great gifts you can get your dad for Father's Day, or friends and things like that. And the therapeutic massage therapy balls were what we're referencing here on that episode. So it's another great episode back in the vault. I think it's episode 2. Check it out.
No, and that's something. If you've never done the foam rolling, the massage rolling, you do it once, you're like, this hurts, but it's a good hurt.
Yeah, it hurts so good, right? Like if your back's already hurting, you roll around on the foam roller or on the massage therapy balls. You may get a few chuckles and laughs, but hey, you're the one that's going to be laughing in the end when you're feeling great. And
again, it proves we all have 7th grade sense of humor when we talk about our ball sacks.
Yeah, we're never that far removed from that. You know what else was badass on that show? Is like, go back and check it out, episode 2. Chris brought this like thing that it looks like he bought it from Sky Mall magazine, where they sell like replica Lord of the Rings swords. It's a freaking knife, dude. The thing's like 2 feet long, and it's got all these crazy blades and everything on it.
The Gatorback.
The Gatorback, the Destroyer or whatever it's called. That thing's pretty badass. And we got a video. We'll need to post it later. Chris using it to cut up some limes for some Corona.
We'll say slightly concerned when you guys were setting up right before we started filming when Chris said, I'm not sure where that's at. Now, I don't know if one of his kids has it on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something that looks like it's easily replaced.
Listen, it's my last line of defense. It's probably like, Velcroed behind my headboard.
The mattress.
All right, Brandon, back over to you. The slogan, good action. What does that mean?
Okay, so that is I had a lieutenant when I was in the 25th Infantry Division, and he would say good action. And so that just kind of stuck with me. This is going back to like 96, 97. Guy's name was John Murray. Hell of a dude. he actually went to the Air Force Academy and was like, didn't really want to do that. And so I guess you can, and you may be able to tell me, I guess you can switch services even though you're in that. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, a few people every year will apply for an inter-service transfer, and he obviously got it. The Air Force Academy, best almost military school there is, so he decided to go do something else.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And a future guest, Kevin, one of my neighbors that actually did that.
Yeah, so his was even more interesting. He was a Black Hawk pilot, then became a Navy dentist, which is just a crazy mid-career change they allowed him to do, which is awesome.
And does the branch that you're leaving when you're doing that, they probably don't like take kindly to that, I would imagine.
It's usually a 1-for-1 or close to it trade.
Okay.
So West Point's going to let 1 or 2 people do that, the Air Force Academy. But pretty quick. It's, again, how did you end up where you are? And that's definitely a circuitous path to get to be an Army officer to go to the Air Force Academy. Yeah,
so John Murray, Lieutenant Murray, he's one of the few lieutenants that would let us enlist the guys, just call him LT. And he was like, whatever, he could care less. He's a snowboarder, surfer, kind of whatever. He just was kind of there for the adventure and didn't want to be stuck in an airplane or whatever he would do in the Air Force. But he would just always say good action. Yeah. He'd come over and I'd be carrying the 60 and I'd be like lighting it up. He'd be like, that's some good action, Mosley. And I was like, I hadn't said that forever. That would have been in the vault with good actions right next to Teddy Pendergrass. Yeah. And somehow we're just doing the show, man, and it just came up.
Anytime you're carrying or shooting the 60, that's some good action.
It's a good action, right? Exactly.
I actually defined it, because I've been thinking about it. Any cool story, any awesome stuff or killer gear that benefits dudes everywhere, that's good action.
That is good action. I think can we put that on, Urban Dictionary?
We can.
I think we should somehow coin that on Urban Dictionary.
We will.
Well, as Michael Scott says, you can put it on Wikipedia because that's the most accurate.
That's the most accurate thing anywhere.
All right, Chris, back to you. What cumulative percentage does a Marine sniper need to pass a stalking phase? You really did go deep in the vault with these.
I actually have to call Danny.
Cumulative percentage.
I don't. And real quick, I don't even know if that's mathematically correct the way to say it. But what's your passing percentage?
I don't know if anything the Marines do is mathematically correct, but I do think it's the best brand in the entire world. So.
It totally is. It totally is.
Well, I know that he had to crawl on his face 1,200 yards in the stalking phase. There's a 1,200 yard, field of view. He had to crawl about 1,000 yards to get to 200. Take the shot. Passing percentage-wise,
remember he had several. Remember they gave him several chances to.
I'm going to say 80%.
I'm going to go with C's get degrees. It's actually 70%.
70%.
I think we give him credit though because if you do get 80, you would pass. If you got an 80%,
anything over 70%.
Anything over 70,
appreciate it.
All right, I'll default to you. We give him credit.
Appreciate it. That would be.
All I remember from that episode is that there aren't a lot of round things in nature. The human head. I'm just thinking that's savage, bro.
He said the human head stands out, so it's an easy shot.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
That was one of my favorite episodes, by the way.
That was a fun.
Just having Denny on. I mean, he's a hoot.
I think we could have him back to probably tell some pretty. I mean, just socially, like hanging out with him. He's got some pretty good stories.
No, I think his story's great in that there's a guy who tried the college thing, tried the lifeguarding at the Jersey Shore thing, tried that, said this is going to go very well for me. Dad probably put a little boot in his tail, and then goes to the Marine Corps and is since an extremely successful businessman, doing great. It just kind of shows how we all get here. So, all right, Brandon, back over to you. Jeff Hartman on episode 5 gave us some good financial advice, but he talked about one math rule. What is the rule of 72?
I almost asked you this question. I almost put this to you.
I didn't even put an answer.
But you know what? I kind of forgot what it was. All right. So the rule of 72 is spend less than you make.
But that's what Jeff Hartman kept coming back. That's how you get rich.
So that's the general thing. But the rule of 72 is whatever you take your rate of return. So let's say you're planning on a 10% rate of return, and your money will double every 7.2 years.
That's correct.
Is that
yeah? So what that is meant to show is kind of compound interest and what it does, and you typically use an 8, 9, 10%. If you're Dave Ramsey, use a 12% rate of return, which is aggressive. But I thought Jeff did a nice job of kind of explaining that. And that's a very basic retirement, college, whatever planning tool. So good.
That was a mind blown moment for me when he started explaining that. Rule of 72. What?
And all those graphs and charts he shows to his clients, he should just say, "Here,
well,
grab a pen and a piece of paper."
I think that more so than anything describes the 8th wonder of the world, which is compound interest. So that's pretty interesting. All right, Chris. You should get this right because I already asked it to Brandon. Name the 3 phases of U.S. Army Ranger School.
Well, I'm going to say it a little differently, the way Nate said it. Derby phase, which is, I think, my favorite phase when I've watched documentaries on Ranger School where they're doing the obstacle courses. Mm-hmm. They're just putting them through all those really cool, it's almost Spartan race style. Mm-hmm. Then you've got mountain phase and Florida phase. So Derby phase, mountain phase, Florida phase.
That is crazy we both had the same question on this.
Are we wearing the same shirt?
We're wearing the same shirt.
What is that? What are you wearing?
This is the sample of the Dudeology Killer Gear, definitely Killer Gear merchandise. We'll just take a moment right now. It's got the logo on the front, and then Chris, if you turn around, can we see the text on the back, Dudeology Show? And Pat, just tell me, feel this shirt and compare it to other shirts that you have.
It's very butter soft. It's a higher end T-shirt than what you're going to see.
Yeah, definitely. And
I will tell you, as soon as the shirt came in, before I even had a chance to put it on, my wife stole it, put it on. It's a soft shirt, right?
Yeah, I think you could get these for your whole family, the wife, the kids. I mean, everyone's gonna like. And we got several. We're gonna post up. We wanted to get first. We wanted to test them. We didn't want to put some crap product out there and ask our listeners to go check it out at the merch store. So we got these. We're gonna have several colors. I think we got some hoodies we're working on.
Yeah. There's some stickers.
So we're gonna
coffee mug.
Definitely some killer gear out there for all our folks. So be on the lookout for an announcement on that. But yeah, nice shirt by the way.
You too.
It's still odd to me that we wear the same size since you have probably 50 pounds more muscle than I do. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna shrink mine up and make it.
So this medium is expandable, which is good.
Medium. Well, there's 2 mediums. There's medium. What is it?
I'm wearing the medium husky. And Brandon over here is wearing the schmedium.
Medium athletic.
I thought it was like buying a hat. Just one size fits all. But all right, Brandon, back over to you. Question number 9. Name at least 5 pieces of killer gear that were featured on the show, and then what was your favorite?
5 pieces of killer gear that were featured on the show. I'm going to try to say ones we haven't already referenced, so I'm not going to say Chris's balls. In the sack, the massage balls. Sorry. All right, 5 pieces of killer gear. Well, we had we've had a couple people bring in their Go Ruck packs. I think Benny brought in 3 or something because he bought.
Yeah, he's keeping that company viable. Which is good.
He bought one of each model, but I want to say he may have brought in the GR1 or let's just say so he brought in one of his rucksacks. Dr. Danny brought in some Sierra Bravo wipes. And there's these wipes you keep with you. And last week I was out in Colorado, Manitou Springs. I got finished hiking and doing a bunch of other stuff, so it's kind of a little sweaty. And the wife and kids wanted to go. They wanted to go to the brewery for lunch, which I was stoked about. I'm like, sweet. So before we walk in there, I busted out some of this Bravo Sierra wipes.
We'll get it right.
Did a little quick field expedient shower down with the wipes. Boom, was good to go. So I will say those are solid. So I got 3 more?
You do. 3 more.
Okay. That's 2. John brought in, we've already used John. You know what? We've referenced that episode. I'm going to go back to the Battlers, the Fighting Battlers.
Yes.
Jeff Hartman brought in a pair of Costa Del Mar sunglasses, and he recommends those for everybody, basically. I've been a big Costa fan for a long time. I wore mine out on a Dudeology fishing trip that we went out with Jeff Hartman not too long ago. Yep. Slayed some, we catch kingfish,
caught
tuna, snapper,
cobia.
We got all kinds of sharks, I think. A lot of sharks in the water.
Sharks were catching our fish.
That was cool. So that's 3. I got 2 more still. Man, this is real challenging.
I thought you were going to say the tuning fork. I mean, that was...
What? Is that really a piece of killer?
No,
that was just
awesome
a fun trick. That was like a fun trick. That was like magic tricks. If the rule of 72 doesn't blow your mind, maybe the tuning fork trick will, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to say that. Nate Aganaga, he threw it out there. He said you got to always have toilet paper with you when you're in the field. You got to always have toilet paper. That was kind of his thing, and it's got to be waterproofed. Right. The worst thing is when you need toilet paper and it's waterlogged. So I got 1 more.
Yeah,
one more. I'm going back to see first episode, second. Well, you know what? On episode number 2, you threw out this GoPro camera right here, the GoPro Hero 7, which has been it makes this happen. Really, what we're doing right now, and some of the shots from the fishing trip or from vacation. It is I think it's a solid investment. It's probably already paid for itself on the usage you've got out of it. Good? Did I pass?
Yeah, you passed.
Pass. Good.
A lot of commentary along the way, too.
It was good. It was kind of watching muddle through it. I felt like it was half my college experience.
Exactly.
All right, Chris, question number 9. How many times a week does Dr. Danny recommend dudes in committed relationships should be having sex?
Ooh.
I will be honest, asking the sports medicine guy this at the end of the podcast, I was like, interesting.
All I remember was that, like, it was a good answer.
It was a great answer.
It was definitely 3+ times per week, but discuss it first.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the same page with your spouse, right?
Yeah. It was one of those things that it was total self-serving, by the way.
Right.
And so if you what episode number is that? Is that 4?
Should be
That's
4.
That's episode number 4, Health Hacks with Dr. Danny. Go back and look at that. That's the episode. That part right there is that near the end of the episode. You want to listen to that with someone that you're in a committed relationship with, and just make sure that they hear that medical advice. I believe he said, he said 2 to 3.
2 to 3 minimum, 3 to 4 ideal.
And I threw that out. I said, so 3 to 4 sounds great.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He kicked some great medical advice, but I think that was something that connecting, right, is important.
Yeah,
Being
absolutely.
On the same page.
Absolutely.
On the same page.
Yeah, and I think we need to reference back Dr. Danny episode 4, Legal Bill episode 7. We got that wrong earlier.
We clarified that.
Too many episodes,
Do I lose
right?
points for that? Do I lose points for that?
And I will give Dr. Danny, he did not answer every question. It depends, like Legal Bill did. So it was good.
It's a difference between doctors and lawyers. It's more of a finite science. There's a definite answer.
I'm pretty sure that's a well-known fact that most attorneys will like to use the phrase, it depends. And it does. I didn't count how many times Legal Bill used that in that episode, but...
Yeah, he kind of sounded like an attorney, maybe an HR guy, but he kind of had it all, which is good. It depends. So. All right, Brandon, over to you. Who said it and finish this sentence? It's amazing how many things people slip and fall on that get caught in their ...
That was hilarious when he said that. That's Dr. Danny Montero. Funny enough, we both had that as one of the questions number 9. I believe the medical term he said was rectum. I was about to say ass, but I think he said rectum is what he said. And that is kind of crazy and weird. People coming into the OR.
But I think
the ER with stuff.
We like to ask guests, what's the craziest thing you've ever done, or excuse me, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen? So as a doctor, and I think this was when he was in his residency. Mm-hmm. So he's probably going around doing some ER stuff, doing all kinds of...
Seeing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, seeing a little bit of everything.
You think about what an ER doctor has to see on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's got to be... They got to go home with some great stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. I think we could dig into that with him, too. Okay, let's get back and maybe, so you saw this guy that had slipped and fallen. What was it? What's the treatment for that? I mean, because some things in medicine, you think that there's this high speed, high thing. If you've ever been in surgery or watched a surgery happen, some of the tools that these guys come in and use, it's like a freaking jigsaw and stuff, dude. It's not this high speed laser. I mean, they got pliers and hammers and everything, and you're like,
that's why you're
what are you doing? What do you do with that? And then all of a sudden, before you can protest, you're out.
Right.
And so it's sometimes it's rudimentary, right? There's some things are still good to use.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, back over to you. In the American Summer episode, Brian Lunsford talked about he was working in Atlanta, working for a news affiliate. What news affiliate was he working for before he said, screw it, I'm going to go hang out the Soggy Dollar in the U.S. Virgin Islands?
It was a Fox News affiliate. Fox News.
Yeah.
Fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced.
I don't know about that.
He was on the sports side.
Right.
He was that was like Chipper Jones. I think he referenced interviewing Chipper Jones or something. I almost put in that question, by the way. I almost put spell it, the beer that we drank on the show.
No way.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, and see, I think that was cool, but you probably have some BS question like that, and I'm going to have to answer that's super hard.
I don't remember how many questions I was supposed to write down, so I wrote down
Just kept going? All right.
So
is there any more questions left?
So here's where we're at right now. Brandon has 9. Chris has 8. We're going to give one last question, and we'll see who gets more of them to kind of decide this feat of strength type trivia.
Okay.
Names
of useless knowledge, yes.
And we'll go back and forth until we get them all done. Chris will get to start. He'll be the visiting team, if you will.
Okay.
Name 10 of the Dudeology Show's social media hashtags. Chris, start.
Dude podcast.
And now I go.
Now you go.
The Dudeologist.
Dudeology 101.
Killer gear.
Go.
Good action.
Awesome stuff.
I'm trying to see if good action. Yeah, you did use good action.
Cool
Awesome
stories.
You guys super creative with these, by the way.
I know exactly. I'm looking at the shirt. I'm oh, what? No, the Dudeology Show.
Yes.
Yes.
The Dudeologists.
Didn't I already say that? I said the Dudeologist.
You did.
I did. That's the first.
Well,
one.
did you say the Dudeologist?
No, I just said Dudeologist. He said the Dudeologist.
Okay, good. Continue.
Podcast for dudes.
Go.
Podcast for men.
Go.
Oh.
It's going to start getting hard now, I think.
Okay. That's what she said. Sorry. I couldn't resist. That's what we should do, a hashtag on That's What She Said.
I did walk right into
that. That was kind of a softball, by the way. All right, here we go.
Aren't you the social media guy?
I am, but I normally just cut and paste the ones that have always been there. That's a see. I'm probably confessing right now. I'm like, I normally just cut and paste. So Rangers Lead the Way was one like those hashtags because for every episode.
It was a hashtag, but our main hashtag.
Okay, that's not our
I'm going to go Dude Hack.
Dude Hack, got it.
Podcast for men, I believe.
You said that one already.
You did? I think it's a podcast for dudes. There, I said it too.
All right, I think I got one more left in me.
Okay.
Dudeology Drop-In.
Yes, Dudeology dropping. So some that you missed. Dude Hacks.
We said Dude Hacks.
You said Dude Hack. There's a Dude Hacks.
Hey, we're covering everything.
We are.
Multiple.
Plurals.
Yeah.
Dude Stuff and then The Movement.
Oh,
how'd you miss the movement?
That too. Dang.
But guys, I appreciate it. I think we're about as close to a tie as you're going to get.
Okay.
But 9-8, and then I think it was pretty much a throw up there with the social media hashtags.
I think he got it. He got the social media hashtags.
Okay, so I started with why did you start the show? 10 episodes in, have you accomplished what you wanted to, and are you going to continue to do this, and what are you going to continue to keep doing?
Yeah, so I think we've accomplished what we were looking to accomplish. I mean, we're having a lot of fun. We're having great guests on. We're hearing a lot of really cool stories that, and as we've continued to do it, we've gotten better at this craft. We didn't know anything about podcasting before. I didn't know anything about how to edit a show or put a show together. But the best part is, hey, we're having a lot of fun, and we're hoping that we're inspiring dudes out there to get better, to be better husbands, better employees, and to just be better for society, right? We live in a crazy world right now. And if we can have some regular dudes on, that just have cool stories that can show resiliency, overcoming, can talk about how they took action on something. That's a success for us.
Yeah, and then I totally agree, and I would say the level, the stuff we've learned, right, and especially on Chris's part. If you go back to episode 1 and you look at like the production quality now. He has just like really embraced it and really self-taught a lot of stuff. He's reached out to folks that he knows in the industry and really been able to put what I believe is from where we started in a short period of time of 12 weeks, pretty quality stuff together. But he's never satisfied with that, right? So he's always looking for kind of how to make it better and how to improve it. And for me, to answer your question, Pat, like I don't think we're ever going to accomplish it. Because as long as there are, this is not like a, hey, you do this, you achieve a goal. I mean, this is like a milestone. Our next milestone will be 20, then we'll want 25, then we'll want 30, then we'll want 50. And as long as there are dudes on the planet that could use that nudge or that have cool stories, and we want to have a platform for folks to share. So if you are listening and you're like, hey man, you should call this guy, he's got an amazing story, send him in. Drop us a message on socials or get a hold of us somehow. Or if you're like, man, I think I have a cool story, hit us up, man. We look, again, it's all about just inspiring other dudes to do great things and make their families or their work a better place. So to answer your question, are we on the trajectory? Yes. Are we maybe a little bit ahead of where I thought we would be 12 to 13 weeks ago? Absolutely. But are we happy and content? No. We're going to keep driving and keep grinding and keep making it better because this is just, it's fun, man. It's fun and it's inspiring to hear people's stories.
Well, you got to mention too. I will say if we're looking at the stats, because occasionally we look at the stats. I mean, we hit 500 downloads this week, which was really really positive, right? But as Brandon said, we want to keep doing it as long as we can, and as long as we're motivating and encouraging other dudes to get better, that's where it's at.
Yeah, so we're going to crank it up the next 10 episodes. We'll be sitting here. We'll be sitting here in probably another 12, 13 weeks, another quarter, and we'll have to celebrate a 20-year episode. Pat, thanks for playing Alex Trebek, Pat Sajak, Merv Griffin, was Merv Griffin the guy that produced all those game shows? Is that right? Okay, sorry. Whoever it was, Bill Barker?
Yes.
Was it Barker?
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. See, thanks for doing that for us, man. When we're going to have you on soon, you'll be hopefully part of that next 20 iteration, now that you've proved yourself that you're not going to screw anything up when you come on the show. But we do really appreciate it. That's some good action. And again, thanks to all those listeners out there and guests who have shared their cool stories. You are why we do this day in and day out. So make sure to check out all of our past episodes and subscribe on wherever you listen to your podcast. For the full video experience, make sure to check us out on YouTube. And from the studios and on behalf of all the dudes making it happen, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to The Dudeology Show, your spot for cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite listening platform and follow us on social media at Dudeology Show.